this is Tracy. I think some people had some trouble using the streaming link, so I'm going to try this with Screencast-O-Matic. Should be easier for you to access. We're going to go back over the best practices for remote learning PowerPoint quickly, and also note that we added a couple new slides. So you'll see a new presentation in the email I'll send you that you can download. And know that you're going to be delivering this with your group of teachers you're working with. So our essential question is, how can I use the best instructional practices to engage students in remote learning? And the biggest one of the biggest challenges is the relationships, because you don't have kids right in front of you. They're on the computer, and so that's going to be an important part of remote learning, is developing a relationship with students. Kids learn more from the teachers they trust and care about. Here are some strategies for doing that. Specifically, you might want to highlight provide high quality feedback to assignments, which is right here. And also, you can refer to the notes down here and this blog using the 2x10 theory to intentionally build relationships. Spend 2 minutes a day for 10 days trying to connect with students. A great strategy. I've used it since I taught elementary school. Canvas course organization, talk about that for just a few minutes. Talk about the why. We want just some consistency with course organization because students are in multiple courses. We have parents who are looking at multiple courses, who have multiple children, even in multiple schools in some instances. We're going to talk about lesson design. Good teaching is good teaching, whether online or in person. Talking about maintaining your district pacing, aligning to your standards, progressing through the complexity of learning goals, chunking specifically, segment it, learning goal 1, and then have some kind of summarizer or assessment prompt or check for understanding for that learning goal, and keep students actively engaged. Just monitor their progress. Another way to look at that is segment your lesson. If you're going to do video lessons, err on the side closest to 6 minutes. Shorter the better, because you'll be losing student attention. Create discussion prompts or quizzes or something to break that down. Even in there, you could use something like Edpuzzle to do that. And plan for remediation. 5 steps. This is from an article we found about making your videos. This would be for if you're going to record the video and then let students watch it later. Chunk your instruction. Make your slides video ready. Record and make sure you have good equipment to do that. Enhance engagement, have some stops, tell some stories, and be yourself. If you mess up, keep going. That's part of life. We did find this. This is also a newly added slide about semi-synchronous learning. So you could have students, you're talking with students and you're doing some teaching, and then you give them some time and set a timer and say go work on this independently, and then come back in 3 minutes, come back in 5 minutes, whatever works for you. But this is a really good example of that. Going to have some time for processing. How have you previously used videos in remote learning, and what ideas are you talking about? And lots of teachers will have ideas that they can share, so then have some share out time. Then we'll talk about teams setting norms. Teachers were trained in teams on Monday, but when we're meeting virtually, do you want students to have their cameras on initially? Do you want them to mute as soon as they log in? Do you want them dressed in classroom ready clothing? I'm sure there's some funny stories about that. Being on time, recording, what are your procedures? And so then allow for some discussion. It's great if they can be in grade level teams for the elementary school level. In high school, they can be content teams. Whatever your norms are, it'd be even better if you could adopt those norms as a school. Then talk about content delivery. If you're using PowerPoint, flip charts, Google Slide, whatever it is that you're using, if it's Nearpod or ClassFlow, try to be consistent, because consistency, the students will know what to expect, and so will parents, and so that helps with that. And then student engagement. How are you engaging students? Are you using Flipgrids, Kahoots? That list could go on and on and on for ways to engage students in your lesson. And then we'll have some time for sharing out. Ginger and I are going to use dot storming. Dot storming is very similar to Padlet, except it has some advanced features. One of those features is voting. So after we have teachers enter on the dot storming app some ideas they have for engaging students, maybe, and then we'll have an opportunity for teachers to vote. and they're not voting for like the best one, they're voting for one they'd like to learn more about. And so then that person would have the opportunity to share with the other group. Then if you do not want to do the dot storming, you can just have a discussion here. You can hide the dot storming slide and use this slide. It just gives you a placeholder for you to have a break and have some discussion. And then we'll actually have some time to share success and what they have learned, and then have them report back to the large group. And then finally, here are some references for some sources that we used for this presentation. If you have any questions, please let Ginger or me know. Thank you so much.